Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. We are looking at the watch list for game week 19, but we're going much further than that. We've also got news about double game weeks coming out in game week 21, 22, possibly all the AFCON stuff going on as well, players going off to the African Cup of Nations. We're going to cover some of that in this and then later on in other videos, but I've got 3 players that I want to talk to you about now that you should be considering bringing in on your watch list. Let's have a look at them. So lots to talk about, guys, in this video. A few things to consider when we're looking at our watch list, because there have been some announcements made recently, or some murmurings I should say. So to consider, there looks like an absolute double game week will smash things off in game week 21 and 22. That looks really exciting. It's not been confirmed yet, so we're waiting on that. But the reason why people do believe it's going to go ahead is that the FA Cup third round fixtures are just going to be a one-off tie. There's no replays. So in a week when it would have been replays, that's it. That's been cleared. Now, why has it been cleared? We think it's to get those postponed fixtures in. And also, the Carabao Cup, they're asking for it to be reduced to just one leg. Again, the second leg, that makes that week clear for more postponed fixtures to be fitted in. So, double game weeks in 21 and 22. Really interesting and absolutely crucial to us as FPL managers. There's a few sides that will double in both of those game weeks. So whereas some sides, let's say Manchester City and Liverpool, will only have one game in one game week 21 and one game in 22, some teams will have 4 over the 2. So there are twice as many games, twice as much possibility of getting points. So those are players that we absolutely want to be looking at on our watch list. And we do not have that large window in order to get these players in. So we have to be careful and cautious about which transfers that we need to make. Some of the sides that we need to target: Tottenham, Man United, Leicester, Brighton, Watford, other teams such as Burnley. But these ones look like the teams where possibly the points will be held. So those are sides that we need to target. In the back of our minds, we also need to be aware of the African Cup of Nations. Some of these players will be disappearing. The likes of Dennis may not be around for game week 22, the second half, and certainly missing game week 22, possibly beyond. So we do have to keep an eye on that. So loads of things to consider when looking at this watch list. Whether you're new around here, guys, or you just enjoy FPL content, then please hit that subscribe button. Plenty more transfer tips, watch list videos. We'll do a free hit and a chips guide, I think, coming out shortly to try and negotiate these double game weeks. And the exciting news that we've had a new free chip has just come out as well. So stay tuned for all the latest stuff of that. In the meantime, let's have a look at our first player. Josh King. Not someone I looked at in the previously. Dennis is a player that I've gone for, but with the African Cup of Nations, he's possibly going to miss out. So Josh King becomes one of the assets that I'd certainly like in that Watford side. 7.6% owned, not huge. He's got Wolves, West Ham, Tottenham, Newcastle, Norwich, and again doubling up on that West Ham. But he do have some 2 double game week fixtures coming up, and that's why we'd want him in. Up front, will he play all 4? I don't know many players that will play all 4 of those 2 doubling up fixtures. Possibly. He's on pens as well, as we know. This season so far, he's got 5 goals, including that hat-trick at Everton. He's got 3 assists, so he's chipping in on both sets of goal involvements. And his goal involvements is good. Expected goal involvements for 5.8, 0.67 is really good value, guys. Shots in and around the box don't worry me at all. They're in a region which I'm happy with at 2.32. So all in all, his stats look pretty good. The good thing about Josh King is he's on pens. We know that. Dennis is possibly out because of the African Cup of Nations if he gets called up, and we expect him to. So that makes his position up front even more nailed on than what it is at the moment. He's got the double game week, so he's got 4 games coming up, and he's nailed. Okay, hasn't scored in the last 3. He's the only thing that you could possibly enable against him. But Watford, a lot better outfit and improved on Ranieri, scoring goals, and we all know what they did at Manchester United and against Everton. So they're a much improved side. Josh King playing up front, nailed. With the absence of Dennis, you would imagine he'd be playing through the middle again as well. But Josh King, decent price as well. 4 games, I think he could be worth the punt. Next man up is Reguilón, one of those teams that we're definitely looking to target for that double game week are Tottenham. 5.2, playing in defence as an attacking fullback. 12% owned, so not huge, not differential by any stretch of imagination, but they have some great fixtures as well as those confirmed, yet to be confirmed, double game week fixtures to come in. So even beside that, he's a bit of a longer term option. Nice to bring somebody in that I haven't got to worry about bringing out later on as well. He's got 1 goal this season. He scored that under Conte not so long ago. Seems like a lifetime though. 3 assists so far this season, so we know he's got attacking potential. That XGI is pretty good, 0.25. Sometimes you've got to remember that that's still a decent XGI for a defender. We've just been a little bit spoiled with the likes of Trent and Reece James recently, but 0.25 is still really decent. 0.59 shots in and around the box per 90 minutes. Not spectacular, but then again we have to factor in he's only a defender. So 5.2, he looks like a decent option. Always been on people's radars for Tottenham as an attacking fullback. Pros and cons, we know the fixtures are good. He's got that double game week, of course, coming up, the 2 double game week. He has been getting some returns, which is great as well. Ron Sessegnon is out for a couple of weeks, so that almost guarantees his slot in there at fullback, you would hope. On the downside, he hasn't played recently. He's coming back from injury, but came off the bench last game. Sessegnon now, it looks all set that Reguilón would play. For those fixtures alone, he looks like a brilliant option. Good fixtures in any case. Southampton home and away, that looks decent. Watford, Palace, he'd be a player that, yes, I would definitely be looking at bringing in for the, almost straight away. And the fact he's got a double game week, cherry on top. 5.2, if I can get to him, I think he'll be certainly sort of in and around my side. With the announcement of the double game week, this player was certainly on the watch list, and then he was on the watch list last week, in fact, and I brought him in. And then I took him out and I thought, no, he's worth having a conversation about. So he's a bonus player, really. I said 3 at the start. I've thrown in Gabrielle Martinelli at 5.3. So I do think he's worth having a conversation about. Everyone's going to be in a slightly different place in terms of their team. Some of us might not need the transfers to bring in the players of Tottenham or Leicester. You might be in a good position, in which case Martinelli looks a great option. He's still very lowly owned. That is clearly going to go up. Norwich away this weekend looks like a good fixture. Then a couple of tough ones, but 5.3, I don't really mind putting him on the bench. So he looks good. He's got 4 goals in got 3 in the last 2 games. He's really on form. He has got, how many assists has he got? He's got 3 assists so far this season. His XGI is really, really good, 0.77. You consider he's a 5.3 midfielder playing very advanced for a side scoring goals at the moment. That is really exceptional XGI for him. Shots per 90 is fine, 2.22. I'm happy with that. So his stats look pretty good. The fact that he's got his place in the side, he started the last 5. Smith Rowe cannot get into that side. You got fixtures look really good as well. Don't mind them. 6 goal involvements in the last 5 games. That's really good. He's clearly on form, and the price is just perfect. Rotation I put as a question mark. Smith Rowe lost his place after only sort of coming out the side for 1 game through injury. Couldn't get back in. Could the same thing happen to Martinelli? You'd imagine so. So there's a risk with it, but at the moment, it's a winning side. I don't see why Arteta would change it. Away at Burnley, good fixture. 5.3 is an enabler, and he gets your points. What's not to like about him?